everyone. Hello. Very, very warm welcome. We're live. Things are working. So it is Friday. It's the 8th of April 2022. I'm about to spend the next hour or so with you looking at some solo waltz. So this is an absolute beginner's taster session. We were due to have this session a couple of days ago, but we had an absolute nightmare with the technology. I had audio, but I couldn't actually get the camera. It was something really quirky. We had to uninstall all of our streaming software and take it completely off this PC because every time we tried to go live, YouTube kept thinking I was going to stream it on that particular software, but I wasn't. I was just trying to use the webcam straight to YouTube. But that's not your problem, that was mine. So we are a couple of days late. So do not worry. We're going to spend a little bit of time looking at waltz. Now, if you don't know anything about the waltz, you can look it all up on Wikipedia or somewhere equivalent. There's plenty of history to the waltz. It's mainly attributed to around about the 1770s and 1780s. I'm going to read a little bit from my notes here. And this was mainly in Vienna. You had the Strauss father and son writing music around that time, and the waltzes then were a lot faster. So nowadays we call it Viennese waltz or slow waltz to distinguish between the two. Today we're doing slow waltz, or English waltz sometimes it's called as well. And we sort of had a bit of an issue back then about how we were prim and proper with people. And we weren't used to, in the 1780s, we were not used to close embrace dancing. Remember, these came from the big ballroom dances. They were more like set dances, where you kept away from your partner, you came slightly together, you stepped away. So those dances were danced like a sequence dance would be today. And then the waltz became very personal because you spent the whole dance in a close embrace with that one person, and it was a little bit scandalous. So when it made its way over to the UK, and yes, I'm based in the UK, so that's why I talk about the UK, we were heading around 1790, and then eventually it was still quite scandalous up until about 1813, but it is thought that the Russian ambassador in England was the first person in England to introduce these into her society dances, and from then on it sort of stayed, and it was a less scandalous dance at that point, but it was still pretty risque. Now, my name's Adele. I am originally from Essex in England, and I moved to Northern Ireland a good few years ago, and I run social dance classes in Belfast and the surrounding areas in Northern Ireland in the UK. We focus on getting people through beginner and improver, and we do a lot of work on social dancing. And obviously with the pandemic a couple of years ago, that sort of put us in a difficult position because we couldn't do our classes in person. We started to do live classes. I've really enjoyed them the last couple of years. I've been working on doing them all via Zoom a lot, directly with students, existing students from my Belfast studio, and also people from all over. But I haven't really focused on the YouTube, so it is my fault, and I think I really need to focus on doing at least one live broadcast direct to YouTube every single week, give people an opportunity to see what we do, make sure everyone's accessible. Why solo dancing? Well, firstly, because of the pandemic. Secondly, you might live somewhere too remote to get to an in-person class. You might be too scared to get out the door and dance in front of other people. You might not have that confidence yet. You might just want to get a few steps under the belt and get the general idea. My classes are all about including people and making sure that we have fun. This is not too serious. We just need to get up off the sofa, get a few steps, and generally not feel like we're really self-conscious. So my classes are more about having fun. We have a cup of tea, we have biscuits, and so on. So anyone that's watching this that comes through my classes, you know what I'm talking about. And yes, I talk a lot, don't I? So if you are new to this channel, guys, I have a very small channel. If you're watching this way in the future, but right now I have 64 subscribers to this channel. I don't even have that glorious 100 mark, which is where you get to choose your own URL. So I am aiming to try and get to 100 subscribers, hopefully by the end of 2022, and that gives me the chance to choose my little URL instead of all that gobbledygook bit that goes on the YouTube. Now today, I'm going to do a warm-up. We're going to learn a few of the slow waltz steps, and then we'll do a nice little cool down and stretch at the end. Guys, feel free to jump in and out however you want. If you need to come back to this at another time, of course, you're more than welcome to pause, go and get your tea and come back at another time. I'll still be talking. Let's do our little warm-up, okay? Now, make sure you've got a space here. You need a space as big as mine, but you do need to make sure that you're not going to fall over the coffee table, chairs, ornaments, cats, dogs. My door is closed, so my cat doesn't come in. For those of you that do know me, you know that I have a lovely, big, fluffy black cat, but she's fast asleep and the door is closed. So if you hear me meowing the other side of the door, that's why. Guys, I'm going to use a song today which is a copyright-free song. I am trying to make sure I am completely compliant with YouTube. So this song is by Kevin MacLeod and it's Rains Will Fall. And I found this while watching Eggill's channel. So Eggill's Magris, he's got a fantastic ballroom channel for dancing and couples. So if you want to go on and look at work to do with dancing with a partner, I highly recommend his channel. But I noticed this track in his music, and that's where I found it. So I'm going to put this on and we're going to do a little warm-up. So make sure you've got plenty of space. Let's just take that jacket off. It's absolutely freezing here. It is April, but we just had hail and snow and sleet a little bit earlier today, and now I've got beautiful sunshine behind it. You can see the sunshine, can't you? Look, peeking in through the curtains. Unfortunately, we can't have anything open because it would glare onto the camera. Guys, let's just make a little start. We're going to warm up our legs. Then I'll explain the timing later. Down, 2, 3, and arms, 2, 3. Let me come closer and breathe the arms. Bend the knees. Bend the knees again. I'm going to face the front for you. Excuse my back, but it's the easiest way to see the steps. Little step to the side. Step to the side again. Bend. Now little reach. Reach up the side. Bend the knees again. Last time coming up. Now step to the side a little bit quicker. You can leave the arms out, you don't have to do the arms. Guys, I'm going to face the front for you this time. Breathe in those arms. We look a little bit like body dancers at the moment. A little bit faster. Bend again. Good, now take your right foot and open. Left foot and open. Right foot. This is just to get the feet warm. Notice I do the foot first, then the arms. Pause. Right, I'm going to tuck behind. Little curtsy. And arms. Open again. Curtsy. And arms. And again, gently. Last time. we're going to releve, which means to rise up and go down. Bring those heels up and down. We're going to use those calf muscles. Okay, guys, let's move on. We're going to do our slow waltz. So, working on a few basic steps. So these basic steps would form pre-bronze if you were doing exams and competitions with any of the international awarding bodies across the world. So these steps are standardized. Every teacher around the world will teach you very, very similar steps. So let's start with my left foot. I'm going to go forwards on my left foot, side on, close on my left. I'm going to go back on my right, side on my left, close on my right. Now, I always say to people, we get the general idea of the feet and the pattern. Then we work on footwork, which is how we place the foot. Then we think about arms, if there's arms involved, and so on. So you cannot learn everything all at once, okay? There's no point just learning routine and lots of steps if we don't have the grounding. So I'm going to hold my hands in a neutral position. When we dance with a partner, we would be a leader or a follower. So we would normally differentiate. There's our leader, okay, with the arm up. And there's our follower here. Okay, so we would normally differentiate on that. So that's something that we need to think about because obviously, you know, we would normally hold our arms one way or the other. So here in a neutral position. So I'm going to be going forwards, side, together, back, side, together, forwards, side, together, and back, side, together. And if you notice, I'm creating an L shape each time. And you join the two L shapes together. One is upside down, and you get a box. Okay, so it's a nice little box step going around four corners of a square or a box. Now, rise and fall can be a bit tricky if you're at home on a carpet, so don't worry too much. But you'll see that we go up on the balls of the feet sometimes, and other times we're down and we're letting our heel go first. So depending on the type of floor that you've got at home and what you're doing this on, be careful, okay? We don't want to slip, but similarly, if you've got a really sticky floor or a carpet, you don't want to have too much friction. So you can imitate this just in case your floor isn't too good for sliding on. So I dip with a little bend of the knee on the standing leg. So remember, this is for absolute beginners today, so I'm going to explain every piece of terminology. Standing leg is the leg that I have the weight on, and the working leg is the leg that's about to do the step and move on, okay? In this instance, I have my weight on my right. That's going to bend. I imagine I'm sitting down onto a big bar stool, okay? My left leg extends forwards, and the heel pushes along the floor with the toes in the air. I'm going to go sideways so you can see that. Fantastic, you can see so much more of my room. Oh, you know, I'm getting carried away here. So standing leg, that's the bending leg. Wi-Fi off, on. A couple of other gadgets that we have here. Okay, let's not overdo the Wi-Fi. I live in the countryside, so we don't actually have a physical wired connection. Everything's on a special satellite connection, which is a little bit funky, but we have to be careful with it. Now, here we go. Standing leg, ooh, heel goes forwards. Okay, it's a bit of a workout for the thighs. Try it on the other leg. There we go. Now, if you do that all day, you get lovely, lovely strong thighs, but that's the idea. I bend the standing leg and I push out the one that I want to step on. I then transfer the weight from the heel to the ball of the foot. And then as I step to the side, I'm stepping on the ball of the foot. Ooh, I'm on my heels. All those heels are in the air, okay? And then we're going to close this foot and lower, okay? So we're not up in the air for too long normally, but that's the heel and the toe, the ball of the foot, and when you see it on Strictly or Dancing with the Stars or the equivalent program and you think, what on earth is that footwork? That's what it is. We're using heel and the ball, and then we go into the ball, and then we lower. So I'm going down, up, and down, up. And the main weight closes in on the foot that's closing, and that's where the weight's going to go down. So back, side. I'm up on the balls of the feet together, and then I lower the weight onto the closing leg, the one on the third step. Now, as slow waltz and our Viennese waltz, the timing is 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Beautiful, solid, steady beat. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Okay, so let's look at the timing. Nice and steady. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, and 1, 2, 3. Let's practice moving off on our right leg. Okay, we've got equal left and right. Or 1, 2, 3, and back. 2, 3, and forwards. 2, 3, and back. 2, 3, and forwards. So these are called closed changes. So when you very first start, your main basic step, I'm going to call it a basic because it only uses one word, save a little bit of air. But these are closed changes. Changes because you're changing from left foot to right foot. You're alternating between the two and changing between the two, but you're closing your feet. Later on, we do open changes, and that means that you don't close your feet together, you go past. So there's a difference. Okay, now, turning. We have beautiful rotation in waltz. So we're going to attempt to turn whilst we're doing our box step with our left foot leading. So I'm going forwards on my left and back on my right. That's it, facing the front. Now, if I want to get turning, it's on the side step, okay? Now, for this example, we will just turn when we're doing the side part of the forwards left, just for now. So I'm going to go forwards on my left, but I'm starting to think about a tiny bit of rotation in my body. So I go forwards on my left, and as I take my right foot for a side step, it's going to be to my curtains, side, and close. Guys, I'm moving too far away from you. Let's come back here. Forwards and together. Okay. Now, because this is a beginner's class, I would say that we just do the next back basic on the right without any rotation for now. Back and together. So we're going to add 1/4 rotation. We're going to look to each wall whilst doing the forwards left basic. So we will get forwards left basic with rotation and a straight back on my right. I'll take another forwards left. Now I'm going to be looking at the back of the room. So you guys shouldn't be looking at me. You should have to be stretched over your shoulder to look at your screen or whatever you're looking at me on. Unless you're super clever and you have this on a tablet or a phone, and then you can take me around the room. But if you're watching it on a fixed screen somewhere, a laptop or something that's attached to the wall. Now, back on your right foot. That was nice and straight. Now, forwards left, again, I'm going to turn 1/4 rotation. Looking at my right wall now. Back on my right. And the last rotation, here I go. Forwards and then back. And when we get more confident, we can actually turn on both the forwards left and the back right. But we'll do that in a minute. So, let's do 4, going around to the left. 1, 4 pairs, that is, yes, 4 pairs. Second one, should be looking at the back of the room. Third one, I'm looking at the next wall. And on the 4th rotation, I should end up facing the front again. There we are. Okay. Let's practice this on our right foot. So we're going to take our right foot forwards, and left foot back. Now, let's do the same thing again. On the right foot, we're going to do that 1/4 turn. Forwards and together. Back straight. 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 So that is it with a little 1/4 turn. So let's see if we can do that with the music. So when I put the music on, try and follow along. I'm going to repeat it 4 times facing the front without any rotation. Then we will do the 4 pairs with the rotation. Then we'll have a little pause, we'll switch onto the right foot, and then we'll do everything on the other side, okay? So try and follow along. 4 pairs of box steps facing the front first. Left foot leading, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, This time I rotate. Second rotation. Third rotation. Fourth rotation. Little pause. Prepare your right foot. One, two, three. One more. Rotation. Rotate again. Last time. And pause. Okay, so that's our box step, or two closed changes, one after the other. What we're going to do now is we're going to increase the rotation. So in that last example, we only did the turn. That was a quarter turn on the forwards basic. We went straight back on the back basic. So now I'm going to attempt to do another quarter turn on the second half of the box step. So just take a little look first, just watch. I'm going to go forwards on my left, take the quarter turn. I should be facing my left wall. I'm going to go back on my right and make another quarter turn. I'll be facing the back of the room. That's where my camera is to you guys. Back and turn. So basically with one pair, so one box step or two closed changes, I should actually be facing the back of the room and I've done 180. So if I continue on and do another quarter turn on the next forwards basic and another quarter turn on the back basic. This means that over the course of two box steps or four basics, I should get all the way round. So this is a little bit more challenging, but we can still do this, okay? So we still keep practicing. Let's take a little try. Forwards left, quarter rotation. Back right, look at the back of your room. Now, if you're straining to see me, don't panic. You think about listening rather than looking over your shoulder. You're going to take your forwards left foot and you're going to turn another quarter turn to your left. Okay, we're going to be looking at the next wall. Quarter turn. And then back on the right, another quarter turn, and we should be looking at the front of the room. Let's speed that up a little bit. Let's do it with the count. 5, 6, 7, and 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, and 1, 2, 3. Don't worry if you're not quite fully round. Let's do it again once more. Left foot leading and 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, and 1, 2, 3. It's a lot to get all the way around, but that's something you can practice on. Now, let's try it on the right foot. Same process. I'm going to start on the right foot here. Forwards, there's my basic. And I'm going to make a turn on each one. 1, and back. And forwards, and back. Now, let's talk about dizziness. Sometimes when you start these types of dances that have rotation, you might experience some dizziness. In our Latin dances, we tend to actually pivot a little bit quicker and we're able to spot, which means to leave the head where it should be, facing the front, to turn the body and then turn the head so the head is the last thing to leave and the first thing to arrive in the turn. I'll show you an example. I'm going to do a salsa spin. I spun on one leg. See that? It was really quick. I left my head. I've got my body turning, and when I can't leave the head anymore because I'm stuck, I flip the head quickly. It looks to where I'm going, and then the body follows. But it's super, super fast. Now, in the slow waltz, we can't do that. We're in a hold, okay, with our partner, and our head normally stays to the left. unless we're in a promenade position or we're doing some kind of a hover move or something that looks a little bit fancy. Okay, so my head is to the left the whole time. So I can't do the spotting and whip it round. So you might find when you first start rotational dances like this that you're getting a little bit dizzy. That is perfectly normal, that is perfectly fine. The key to this is to practice both directions, one after the other. Don't just stop and say, I've done 4 to the left, I feel thoroughly sick, I will stop now and sit down. It's better to go back the other way. The liquid in your inner ear needs to reset itself. So if you turn one way, and then you need to turn the other way to balance out the liquid in your ear, okay? So I'm going to do all my 4 rotations to my left. I'm then going to pause, change my feet, and I will instantly practice my right hand rotations, okay? So that's just a little tip. If you're practicing at home and you're only doing one direction, you're going to start to feel like you're getting slightly dizzy, okay? So that's our box step or our basics, or also what we will now call natural and reverse turns. So again, this terminology builds up and becomes more complicated as we go on. Natural turns in ballroom are clockwise, a right hand, clockwise rotation. The reverse turn is left hand or anti-clockwise. So there's 3 ways to remember it. Turning right, which is clockwise and is natural. Turning left, which is anti-clockwise or reverse, okay? Now, I'm just going to call them out for you, but essentially that's what they are. So we have just done natural turning. Here's our right hand, or clockwise, or we've done reverse turning. There we go. I can go around the room and so on. So natural or reverse. So you've learned some terminology as well, okay? And like I say, we always do these things as a pair. Let's look at the next. I've got my little list here. It's pinned onto my laptop. So here we go. Now, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Beautiful, rhythmic, solid, continues throughout the music, doesn't change. But our steps will sometimes be on those lovely solid counts, and sometimes they will go on the half count in between. So you need to listen to the music, you need to watch out for those little time changes when I give you a step for that. So we're going to do that in a minute, but let's look at a nice simple step that we can do in the living room. We're going to take a left foot forwards, we're going to take a right foot to the side, and I'm going to take a little cross behind. Now this is called a whisk. You might have seen it in other dances if you've done other dances. And this is normally the leader's footwork. Normally a forwards left is a leader's footwork. If I go back on my right and cross behind here, that is normally the follower's footwork. Now we're dancing solo, so everything I do in my lessons, so every Monday I do a beginner's live Zoom ballroom and Latin class. Every Monday I do a an improvers class. I do a 90-minute improvers class and a 60-minute beginners class. And we look at waltz and cha-cha and quick step and Viennese waltz. We do all of the 5 main ballroom dances, all the 5 main Latin dances, okay? We then also look at some street dances or club style dances as we call them as well. So we do a little bit of everything. And I'm keeping it solo. So we actually do more or less equal lead and follow. Okay, I always explain it to everyone so that you know which one I'm doing. So if you were ever dancing with a partner in the future, you would know the difference and you think, actually, I'm dancing. I practice them with then a little close step, slide and close. Now, take a little look. Forwards left, side right, cross behind. Slide, side close. And you can shrink that for your living room space. Make it nice and small, slide and close. But notice my body turns just about an 1/8 of a turn. Okay, it's not a full quarter turn to fully face that wall. It's about just under. Okay, remember I'd normally be attached to a partner, so I can't just fully turn to face the wall and ignore the partner. Okay, so as I do the little cross behind, I then look to the direction that I'm now pointing towards, and I've done about an eighth of a turn of my body. Slide with my right foot and close. So this is a whisk and close. Let's do it on our right foot. This one's going backwards. Here we go. Right foot backwards, back, cross, slide, close. And again, let's reset ourselves. Back, cross, slide, close. Now, my trick for keeping this in the living room is to overdo the cross behind. In the ballroom, we tuck small. Forwards and there. It's small, it's only just about behind the other foot. And the direction of travel is onwards this way. Okay? In the living room, we have to stay in one spot. So I want you to overcross the back step just a little bit. And this is what I do differently in my classes. I don't know how many other teachers do this. I haven't seen this done this often. In fact, I've never seen it done on YouTube. I always explain to you what it is that I've done differently in the solo class in the living room environment to make it slightly achievable for the living room as opposed to what we do directly in the ballroom with a partner. So I always highlight the differences to everyone so that you're fully aware, and if you then go to dance with a partner, you'll not necessarily remember everything, but you'll be able to say, actually, yes, I know that I've overdone a step, or we've changed something for the living room. So I want you to cross a little bit further behind, make it a bit bigger, so that when you do the close step, you end up more or less where you started. So whisk and close, and whisk and close. Now notice I've got a very, very slight tilt to this side when I do my forward step. Okay, so I'm not facing dead center to my curtains once I practice it multiple times. So if I want to practice this multiple times in the living room, I put a very, very slight tilt to the right, which in the ballroom would be going up the dance floor or up the line of dance, as we call it, the direction, the wrong way. So I would be overdoing that, and my partner would be thinking, what on earth's going on? So there, again, it's just a little adaptation. So I've got whisk and close. Now, if you've got a huge long room and you can do 4 in a row and not hit a wall, then by all means, don't adapt it, carry on, go down the room. I will end up in my speaker after doing 2 of them, and then we're all a little bit stuck, but you've got the general idea. Now, little trick here, because I'd like you to practice the left foot forwards and the right foot back. So both whisk versions, we're going to do a little check step. So this allows me to switch between my left and right foot equally and keep it that equal leader and follow example and living room friendly. Okay, check step. We did it in the warm-up, but we're going to do it a bit quicker. Left, right, left, right, left, right. So I'm checking into the corner, a little bend of the knee, put my weight on it. I replace the weight on the right foot, and I step open to the side. So it's 1 into the corner, I replace the weight on the other foot, and then open to the side. Corner, replace, open. Corner, replace, open. Corner, replace, open. Corner, replace, open. Now guys, all that allows me to do, well, apart from look like I know what I'm doing, it allows me to switch from one foot to the other without having to stop. So let's put 3 little bars together and I can show you what I mean. We'll start with the left foot whisk, forwards and cross. We'll do the close step where I slide along the floor. Now I need to do some little checks. Left one, right one, and I do the 3rd time here. That means my weight is on my left foot, which means that I can use my right foot to do the backwards whisk and off to this side. Did you see that? So I did the forwards left whisk and the close, 3 little corner checks, and that frees up my right foot. I'm going to do now the back right, the little close, and then we do 3 more checks again. And that allows us to go left and right, leaders and followers steps, corner checks, keeping it living room friendly, and off we go. Guys, I'm going to do this with the music. I've been talking for long enough without the music. Remember, we're only using this one copyright-free, YouTube-friendly song. If you look in the description below, I've put a link to my Spotify playlist for all my modern waltz music. It's all popular music that you would have heard at some point across various different charts. It's all mainstream music. There's many others in there in the Spotify. I use that to share to all my students just so that they've got an idea of finding some music very quickly. If not, just search on YouTube, you'll find some beautiful waltz music on there. I just can't play it in the stream here because I mustn't use copyright music, otherwise I get the strike from YouTube, and I don't want that because I want to make sure that my channel continues to grow. Now, if you're watching live, okay, that's today, that's the 8th of April 2022. If you're watching live, hit the like button, that would be marvellous. Leave me a little comment, ask me a question if you want to ask a question, okay? And if you're watching this at some point in the future and you still want to ask a question, you'll need to put it in the comment section, okay, underneath, so you'll need to say something. And YouTube gives me a lovely little notification saying someone's left a comment, and if that happens to be a question, I will, of course, try and come back to you. Let's put the music on. We're just going to do the forwards whisk, the close, the 3 checks, and then repeat it all on the right foot with the back whisk. Let's take a look. Arms in place. Relax the shoulders down. 1, 2, let's go. Whisk, close, check, check, check. Whisk, close, check. Use your hips, angle your hips. Forwards whisk. 3 checks. Back whisk. 3 checks. See if you can rise to the balls of the feet. Forwards whisk. Back whisk. 3 checks. Guys, I'm going to put some arms in, optional. If you're not ready yet, don't worry. Leader's arms. Neutral check. Follower's arms. Neutral check. Leader's arms. Neutral. And pause. And breathe. Okay, I'm just going to grab some water there just for 2 seconds and then we'll move on. I'll show you the next step. Now, like I said, we're working from what is called a pre-bronze list, which in the syllabus work is what we should start people off with. And in that syllabus work, it says, teach people a spin turn. Now, the spin turn itself is quite a tricky step. And I always think, well, I need to give people quite a few weeks before they get going with the spin turn. But today I'm going to show you the spin turn, okay? Because it is in the beginner's list. And I'm going to show you it on the left foot and the right foot. Now, this is the difference. If you are a follower, your spin turn will be on your right foot. You will step forwards on a heel, you'll go wide on the side, you'll brush this foot in, and then you'll step out again, okay? Now, if you're a leader, you've got totally different steps, but we're not going to do that today. What we're going to do is we're going to practice the spin turn on the left foot And this would be a leader's step, which is called a telemark. So you don't need to wonder about all these terminologies, but this is a great equal left and right footed practice step, because the lady normally does this, or the follower normally does this on the right foot, and it's in the spin turn, and then later on, the leader or the man will do it on the left foot. So we can both equally practice and put it in the routine either way. Now, I step across, I step wide, I brush in, and I step out. So that right foot has two actions on the third count, in and out. Now that's quite tricky because I've only got one count to do two actions. So listen to the numbers. 1 with my right foot. 2 sideways on my left. And 3. So I tap it in on the end, that's the half, the 2.5, and then I step out on the 3. Okay? Let's look at that again. 1, 2, and 3. Notice there's a little bit of rotation in my body. Now, how does this compare to the ballroom? Rotation. Increasing and decreasing rotation in our spin turn in the ballroom. Now, for the purposes of the living room, I am looking to my left wall and my right wall. Okay, I've got my forwards wall, which is my curtains, but guys, we need to keep this simple for the living room. So I'm going to step across with my right foot to my left wall, put my hip on my side to that left wall, brush in, and step out. Footwork. Heel, ball to the feet, tap it in, land on the ball, lower on the heel. Let's do that again. 1, 2, and 3. Now I'm looking beautifully at the other wall, and I'm going to go across on my left foot. Forwards on the heel. Step out on my right, ball of the foot. Tap it in, and come out. That'll be a ball heel, okay? So that is now technically the leaders, or the gents, step on the left foot, and it becomes a telemark, which we don't normally teach till later on, but this is great practice to keep it equal left and right. Let's do it a little bit quicker. Right foot first. 1, 2, and 3. 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 So, yeah, it's a little bit more challenging because we've got to get onto the balls of the feet, got to get some rotation in, but that is a lovely, lovely, lovely step that we can do. So, we're going to attempt to put that after our little section that we've already done. So, we're going to do our whisk and close. We're going to do a couple of those little corner checks. We're going to do the whisk and close on the other foot, and then we'll practice the spin turns left and right. Let's see if we can do it with the music. I will call it out as we go along. We start on the left foot for the forward whisk. Neutral arms throughout. Here we go. 1, 2, 3. Whisk. Close. 3 checks. Back whisk. 3 checks. Left foot spin turn. Right foot spin turn. And pause. Now, if you're watching this at some point in the future and you're not obviously live, then obviously you can pause and rewind. But what we want to do now, or what I would like to do, is I would like to split everything we've done, which is the box step, that's with the rotations, and then the whisk and close, and those little corner checks, And then I would like to add the little spin turn practice footwork on. So we're going to do what we call a left foot lead. And I'm going to take everything thinking about starting on one side. It's like we're doing half of everything. We're doing one half. So I'm going to take my left foot lead and do my box step. Now I'm going to take the lesser amount of rotations. We're going to do 4 box steps to go all the way around. So I'm going to do 1. So 4 pairs, like we did right at the beginning. This keeps us practicing. Quarter turn on the forwards left, straight back on the right, quarter turn here, and straight back. So we'll do 2 pairs of box step facing the front to get going. We'll do 4 pairs with the rotation. As soon as we're finished with the rotation, I'm going to do my forwards left whisk and my little close. I'm going to take a check and a second check. Instead of doing a third check now, I'm going to do a spin turn practice. And there we have a very, very brief routine with a little left foot lead. Beautiful for practicing with. So let's just do that all over again. 2 pairs to the front. 5, 6, 7, and 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, turn, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, turn, 2, 3, back, 2, 3, turn, 2, 3, back, 2, 3, turn, 2, 3. Now we're going to whisk and close and check. Spin turn practice, which is the left foot, so that's the telemark. And pause. Okay. Now we're going to do everything on the right foot. So now this time, I'm doing my right foot basic first, forwards and back. Forwards. Adding the rotation, 4 more pairs. Next one. Last one. Now back whisk and close, 2 checks and the spin turn. And then we finish on our right foot. We're going to do all of that with the music. We will pause between the 2 sections. Okay, so we're going to do the whole thing on the left foot leading, and then we'll pause, and then we'll do everything on the right foot leading. And then again, if you're watching this in the future, you can always pause and rewind and practice again. Let's start with the left foot lead. 1, 2, 3, to the front. Second pair. Add the rotation, 4 more pairs. Whisk and close. 2 checks. Telemark. And pause. Let's try it on the right foot. Right foot leading, basic. 2, 3. Start the rotations. Last one. Going backwards, whisk. We close. 2 checks. Spin turn. And pause. Guys, I'm just going to pause the music in a second. Okay, so what we now have is a left foot leading short practice routine and a right foot leading short practice routine. So no matter whether you would normally dance lead or follow, you can pick one. The left foot lead there was more for the leaders, and the right foot lead a little bit more for the followers. And don't forget, we have slightly underturned things to accommodate the living room. Now, if you have any questions at all, pop them in the chat. If you don't, I will move on. We are going to just do one more little step. Now, this incorporates a timing change as well. So we're going to do 1, 2, and 3. Same time as in that spin turn and the telemark section. So, left foot's going to go side, right foot's going to close, and left foot side. Okay? So this is a chassis, and a chassis appears in multiple dance styles. That means to open, close, and open. Okay? We see it in ballet, we see it in hip hop, we see it in all sorts of dances. Okay? Across all our various ballroom Latin dances, there is some kind of a chassis step. This particular one is going to happen on the 2 and 3. Okay? Let's go 2 and 3. Now, for the purposes of the living room, we're going to start with our right foot, heading towards our left wall, slightly on the diagonal. I'm actually looking towards my speaker, so it's the corner. Forwards on my right, side close side on my left. Okay? Now, I'm going to add that little check step in. 1, 2, 3. And now I can repeat the chassis step on the other side, nice and equally. Left foot, side, close, side. Check. Right foot, side, close, side. Check. Left foot, side, close, side, and check. So I think you're starting to see the pattern emerging here, that when we do our solo work, especially in the beginners, I'm trying to get people to do things with the left and right. And even if you are normally going to dance one role or the other, your brain needs a good workout. And we always have one side of our brain which is stronger than the other. In these things, you'll do something on one foot and then you'll try it on the other foot and it doesn't quite work as well. Okay, we all have that. So we then have to work a little bit harder to make things easier on the foot that doesn't feel very comfortable. So this is our chassis on the 2 and 3. And all I've done is put an opening step in. So imagine that we were now in the whisk position. We would then slide and chassis. Or we can be in the whisk position of the right foot back, slide and chassis. So you can tag these little chassis on to the whisk position, and that's exactly what we're going to do just now. We're going to put a check in each corner, and that means that we can go backwards and forwards as we so wish. Guys, the earlier section, we'll call that section 1. This is going to be section 2. We probably don't have time to join everything together, but it's giving you little practice bits that you can work on. Let's look at this with the left foot lead, starting with the forwards whisk, slide, chassis, little check. Okay? That's just on the forwards left. Now if I check on this side, there's my second check, and now I'm on my right foot's available, and I can do the second half with a back whisk on the right. Back whisk, slide and chassis, check, check again. Forwards whisk, chassis, check, and check. Back whisk, chassis, check, and check. Okay, so just this little practice session. I'm conscious of not keeping you guys too long. I did say I'm going to do about an hour. I am very, very, very good at running over and trying to give way too much content and talking for too long. So I don't wish to do that for you today. Let me put that song on. We'll just practice this second example, and then you've got lots of things to go away and practice. Let's get the music on. We'll start with the left foot. 1, 2, 3. Chassis. 2 checks. back on the right. 2 checks. Forwards on the left. And pause. So, we have lots of little things to practice. Now, I always like to finish my classes with a little stretch. So don't leave me, I'm about to do a stretch. Keep practicing. Have a little look on YouTube. Have a little look in all of my playlists. The links are in the description below to another beginners playlist. I'm uploading little snippets as much as I can for the whole of 2020. That's my big focus, to get as many videos on, 2022 it is, to get as many videos on as possible. And in my own website, I have a full video library. So yes, I have been doing all the Zoom classes. There's a playlist for all the beginners. There's video subscriptions in there. This is not a big marketing ploy. Just to let you know, it's on there. All the links are in the description. Take a little look if you like something. Great. If not, just focus on what you can on YouTube. If you're looking for partner work and you're looking to see how this works with another person and you want to try that at home, again, on the front of my YouTube channel, down the bottom, it says other recommended YouTube channels, and the chap I said before is Egils Smagris. I hope I pronounced that right. And there's another chap called Leon, and he's passionate for dancing, and he has some great videos as well, and it shows you nice and clearly how to do this with a partner. So have a little look at them. There's another guy called Ballroom Mastery. He has quite a few videos, but he's doing a little bit like me. He's focusing on some solo work as well. But Egils and Leon, definitely check them out if you want to look at partner work. Let's do that stretch. I love doing a little stretch. Okay. So we'll put our waltz music on and we'll keep it nice and quiet in the background. Okay. Bend your knees. Straighten. Step to the side, cross right behind left, T-shape, small plie, feel the calf stretch, staying down, tuck in your tailbone, over to the side, coming up, plie and reach, plie again, open the legs, left behind right, sit down, keep those heels on the floor, feel that on the back calf, little reach, and again, plie down, reach over. You want to feel that stretch on the hip, plie down, and reach. We're going to step out on our left, put our toes up on our right. Nice flat back, buttocks backwards. We're going to get a little hamstring stretch here. You can lean on your bent leg if you need to, not on the straight leg because that will interrupt your knee action here. Toes are up, chin is up. Here we go. Nice hamstring stretch. We're going to put those toes down, stretch a tiny bit further. Okay, we're going to look to our right wall now. So turn to your right wall. You want your right foot forwards and your left foot back. Your back heels are down. Nice ski slope position from top to toe. Put your arms slightly in front. Let them breathe. And down. And take them slowly up towards the front. Push your hips forwards very slightly. Stretch your chest. We're going to open those arms and bring that back leg in. Back leg comes in, toes are level with the front heel. We'll sit down. Squeeze the shoulder blades behind you. And wiggle those legs just a little bit. We're going to step out on our right. Pop the left toes are up. Flat back, chin is up. Feel that little hamstring stretch. We're going to put those toes down gently, slightly deeper stretch. And look into our left wall. Parallel feet, get that back heel down. There's that lovely ski slope position. Hands on your hips if you need to be a bit steadier. And again, we're going to bring that back foot in. Toes are going to come level with the front heel. We'll have a little sit down. This time I want you to curve your shoulders, drop your chin, and try and curve your lower back. A nice big C shape. You're slightly bending the knees. Want to relax that lower back. Now, chin up, arch the back. So if you've done a little bit of yoga before, you've got these cat and cow stretches. We're curving from a big C shape, and then we're tucking, arching the back. So we're just trying to maneuver a little bit on that lower back, and we're just trying to relax it. Our ballroom can be a little bit stressful on that lower back if we stay in that position the whole time. Open the legs, drop down, C shape, and here. Okay, I'm going to go sideways on. So I'm relaxing and opening. I'm going to make the arms get bigger, pull them back. I'm going to go down, almost like I'm doing a squat exercise, but I'm not. Okay, just to get a little bit of maneuver back in. There we go. Get that movement in there. Good. Now, guys, thank you so much for watching me. If you're watching this in the future, I hope you've enjoyed it. If you've watched it just at the same time, thank you so much. Give me a like, leave me a comment, have a little subscribe to the channel. And this is something that I'm really focusing on now from 2022 onwards. I'm building in lots and lots of content for my YouTube channel. My name's Adele. I'm livetodance.eu. All the links for everything that you need is in the description below. If you can find everything, playlists, music, more videos, history of waltz videos that I've linked to in there as well. So thank you so much for joining me. Bye-bye.